What's up, everybody, and welcome to my Smackdown review. As we are days away from Backlash, or as WWE likes to put it, the sorry, mouth was hurting, just jaw. But as WWE likes to put it, the first dual branded pay per view. For some reason, I don't know why they keep saying that. As far as it's the first, like the first dual branded pay per view of this year, or however they putting it now, since all the shows are dual branded. Like, wasn't WrestleMania a dual branded pay-per-view not that long ago? The Royal Rumble, Survivor Series, SummerSlam. It's really gonna get odd having all these pay-per-views all dual branded now. That music video didn't make it better, but when they keep saying this is the first one ever, it kind of, excuse me, beats the point for some reason when listening to that. So it just doesn't make sense when it says the first dual branded pay per view. But just getting past that, they showed the whole Shane McMahon getting thrown through the announce table at the Greatest Royal Rumble, and Paige pretty much said that he would not be here tonight. And since what happened in Saudi Arabia with Shinsuke Nakamura and AJ Styles, the match this Sunday right now for the WWE Championship would be a no disqualification match, which is understandable, but we'll get more into that later on. Miz came out as he was ready for Miz TV. I don't know what the crowd was chanting at the time. I think they were chanting overhauled or over something. Honestly, I cannot tell a lot of these chants tonight, because yes, they were back in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. And I will say one thing: this crowd made the show fun to watch. Okay, listen, there was a lot of bad things on this show, but the crowd made it very fun to watch, and I loved whatever they were chanting throughout half the night. I may have didn't understand it all. I may have to go back and look it up what they were chanting, but it was very fun to listen to them. Miz pretty much came out, talked about Miz TV, and there was one line he did say, Maurice lives in Hollywood, right? With me. And as Miz said that Daniel Bryan was banned from Miz TV after what happened last week on there. And he even took a shot at Seth Rollins, saying that you can't hide behind Samoa Joe and Finn Balor, because when we meet at Backlash, he'll be a freaking lister and be the Intercontinental Champion this Sunday, which would be 9 times, and he would tie with Chris Jericho, which I feel like his whole legacy now is the Intercontinental Championship. But he introduced Jeff Hardy, the U.S. champion. As Miz, I would shake your hand, but you high-fived all these people in the front row. And asked Jeff if Miz was a better Intercontinental champion than Seth Rollins. Jeff said, really? And, we started arguing, said, well, who makes a better champion? And I believe Jeff called Miz, like, you're just some ego-driven maniac or something like that. Randy Orton then came out as Miz says, I didn't get a chance to introduce you. And Randy said, whatever. And then he tried to talk about what's happened in the past few weeks of him and Jeff Hardy interrupting Orton. But Orton says, listen, me and Jeff are cool as far as concerned. And then Miz brought out that top 10 list that only happened for like 1 or 2 weeks when they showed it. And I'm glad they killed it, but it looks like they wanted to bring it back up. Listen, it was bad enough when Jinder kept bringing it back up and Rude and them were arguing over that top 10 list. But it's like Orton said, no one cares about this top 10 list. Nobody does. So why bring it back up? And then Miz talked about the whole match last week, and Jeff said, hey, that was one of the Singh brothers that got involved that cost Orton the win. And, Orton pretty much RKO'd on it, but Orton says, you don't tell me when to strike, since Miz tried to tell him when he's going to strike an RKO. And then pretty much told Jeff Hardy, says, I earned my rematch, and this Sunday I will take back my U.S. Championship. Shelton Benjamin, I wish they'd give him his Ain't No Stopping Me song back. I wish they would. But he pretty much says he deserved the title shot. But Orton pretty much kicked Shelton as soon as he even got in the ring. It was going to hit the DDT. Miz tried to get him, but Jeff hit a whisper in the wind on him. And that ended the segment. It's pretty much whatever leading the match for this Sunday. Even though it's just kind of a face versus face thing going on. I don't know, will Orton turn heel? I guess well, some say he needs to, because face Orton is kind of boring. Jeff Hardy is, is Jeff Hardy, and then it was a tag team match. I feel like Teddy Long was booking this, but I guess Paige booked it also. A tag team match, which the crowd, I still don't know why they kept chanting overhauled. I kept reading on Twitter that people were chanting that, and there were Brother Nero chants, and I was really trying to see what the crowd was mostly chanting throughout half the match. People chanted, "You suck, The Miz." The tag team match was kind of whatever, and the crowd did eat it up, and they did go nuts for the RKO once he hit on Shelton Benjamin, and then it was a Swanton bomb that followed. As soon as Jeff got back up, Orton hit an RKO after that then. Even though this whole match, yes, the faces go over before the pay-per-view. Miz doesn't get pinned, so he doesn't look bad going into Sunday at Backlash. RKO out of nowhere, you kind of saw it coming regardless, and it looks cool every other time. But yeah, they even went to Renee Young, as I guess the Iconics were making fun of her accent, or well, Renee Young said it was a Minnesota accent. They tried to make fun of Canada, but it didn't work. And then Carmella doing her moonwalk everywhere. It's just, I don't know, that whole little segment backstage was really bad. Carmella doing multiple moonwalks, just really bad. St. Michael Jackson, so yeah. They also talked about Daniel Bryan was gonna compete tonight, but since he's not clear because of an infection on his chest, pretty much he took a beating out there at the Greatest Royal Rumble on Friday. I believe it was Roderick Strong that said lit him up real badly, because he was lit up. He really was. The Bar and the New Day. Oh boy. Pancakes. What do I have to say from this? As the Bar were pretty much now on Smackdown, the New Day talked about pancakes, and they had a butler named Booty Ward or whatever, and they had the pancakes, and I guess they gave them some baby oil, and Kofi, Big E told Kofi to baby oil him up, which was, this was weird to me right here. Big E just starts taking baby oil and start rubbing it on his chest. I'm like, what the hell is he doing? Like why is he rubbing baby oil on his chest for it? This whole segment kept getting stranger and stranger, and even adding on to that, Bar asked if there was laxative in those pancakes, and Sheamus said, how about we have matches? Big E said, you want this, sucker? Let's go! And Big E's just getting all like the intensity in his promo just starts rising up after he just put baby oil on himself. But Sheamus says, I wasn't talking to you, I was talking to Woods. And his Woods says, I'm going to steal your soul, Sheamus. Rusev Day was in the back, as Rusev Day actually had a big pop from the crowd. And next thing you know, Lana came out of nowhere, and people pretty much got a big pop for her, and I guess she doesn't have her no type of accent anymore, or in no Russian. That whole Russian accent was really gone in there, folks. It really was. Go back and listen to the promo. Where did you hear that Russian accent? Nowhere. And she started speaking with Rusev for a minute, I guess, in privacy, and said that Rusev Day can be bigger, but you keep coming up short. Look what happened with The Undertaker last Friday, which pretty much Undertaker killed both of these guys, and I'm surprised we're back to see him on SmackDown so quick. And she said that something is holding him back. And looking at English, listen, are they really? They must be really trying to kill Rusev Day now, because getting rid of Aiden English is a bad idea. And I've said it before in the past that Lana should have been back with Rusev, because Lana is not good as a wrestler in general. But now it's not like they're teaming them up. It's just Lana kind of driving a wedge now in between Rusev and English to break them up. So it's a question mark behind this, but I really do believe they're trying to sabotage Rusev Day more and more, because people love to see Aiden English sing or rap or say it's Rusev Day, and he is a big part of that act. But if we're gonna replace him for Lana, I don't see this going out any good. Yeah, you'll get your Rusev and Lana thing back, but it's not the same anymore, okay? It really isn't. And I don't really see this going anywhere good. But time will tell and we will see. But looking at what I see right now, they're trying to break up English and Rusev. And they're really trying to ruin this thing by putting Lana back in the picture. So I could see this kind of going bad from a mile away. I really can. Speaking of another bad promo, oh God, Big Cass. Whew, this was brutal to watch. Big Cass came out saying he was from New York and talked about the stereotypes of people that live there. But, you know, there are stereotypes, but I'm not from Canada or wherever, as I guess people try to chant overhaul again. And he said, and you know, when Rusev was cutting his promo, not Rusev, when Cass was cutting his promo, once again, he kind of recycled the same promo like the week or two before, saying Daniel Bryan is small, Daniel Bryan is weak, I'm big, you're small, I'm tall, you're little. That's what the big superstars or whatever punch, like, that's what it's supposed to be. And that, I don't know, it's not going to be a 5-star match this Sunday. It's going to be a 5-second match. And you know, you could tell Cass was kind of rattled by the crowd, because the crowd started getting louder and chanting overhaul, and then they turned asshole when they brought a midget out or a little person or whatever. And it's just not going to be any wrist locks, arm locks, or yes locks, or whatever it is. But he's going to knock Daniel Bryan's teeth down his throat. And it's like Cass was trying, but it's just like it wasn't really type of heat. Yeah, he got a reaction out there, but the crowd really kind of, you know, really were way louder than him. It's like, you know, he tried to raise his voice as big as he could until, you know, the crowd kind of calmed down a little, and they kept kind of coming at him several times. And then when you bring the midget out there and making all the short jokes about Daniel Bryan and calling him little and mocking him and talking about, say, and scene, and then he said that this guy was part of a circus or whatever, an actor, and, you know, to take a bow and everything, and then next thing you know, he kicks the guy, and I don't know, and start, went out some punches, and people start, I think they chant asshole in. This was just bad. I didn't bring out the you know, the little guy out here. I feel like Vince wrote this whole promo for Cass. I don't know why. I feel like Vince had all of this planned. Like, he kind of wrote all of this. I really do believe that. From the big little thing, and then the you know, the little guy and him getting his shit kicked in. This is some stuff you would see in the Attitude Era when the Dudleys, when Edge and Christian would bring out the mini Dudleys or the mini Hardys, or even with JBL at one point bringing out a mini Undertaker, or The Rock bringing out a mini Booker T. This has all been done in the past, people, okay? This really has. So, this segment kind of really went bad. It really did. And yeah, Cass tried to make it work, but it just got worse and worse for him every time he talked, and this was looking like a failure, especially leading to Backlash this Sunday for him and Daniel Bryan to face off. AJ Styles then came out then. Of course, AJ is over and gets chanted as the no DQ thing was going to go down. He talked about Shinsuke Nakamura as a cheap shot artist and hitting him in his jewels all the time, and, you know, AJ Styles said, you know, I don't need an apology because he left all that in the Arabian desert, and that Nakamura's ruined WrestleMania and the Rumble, and he took the Styles versus Bryan match away from the WWE Universe and taking out one of my friends. And he says it's going to be an eye and a tooth for a tooth. And he's going to be leaving Nakamura all over New York, Jersey, Connecticut, or whatever. And he says, I don't need an apology. He can come out and, you know, get himself if he wants to. Samoa Joe comes out then, surprisingly, and talks about AJ Styles and say you should be looking out what happens, especially my match between him and Roman Reigns, as he called Roman Reigns a failure, of course, and that Brock is still the Universal Champion, and Roman failed because he's making more excuses. Come on, look at the promo last night, and I don't know, even I know it was probably going to happen from a, I guess, logic standpoint, but he pretty much said, and I guess Joe's in the title picture now all of a sudden. Like, Joe's has been in several feuds, not feuds, but in several matches, like, he's just going after any type of title right now, or anybody. And, you know, I'm surprised, and he does deserve to be in that title picture, because he said, if Nakamura, AJ, if any of you guys are champion after Sunday, I'm going to beat you down and take the WWE Championship. So he's coming after AJ, even though this looks like a TNA feud. I would say back in circa 2000 and maybe 5, 6, 7, 8, and maybe 9. If I could listen, they had a big feud in TNA. So check it out if you want to. But that's what it reminded me of as soon as I'm seeing Samoa Joe versus AJ Styles. I'm watching TNA from '08 or something. But next, Nakamura music hit. Joe looked like he was ready to fight Nakamura when he was coming out, but he pretty much once again hit AJ Styles in the nut shot. So, as he was hit in the nuts, of course, Nakamura pretty much looked around and started kicking AJ in his head a little. And as AJ tried to sit up, Nakamura pretty much was going to kick him from the back of the head, but he played mind games and didn't. But he kicked him from the front then, Kinshasa, and held the title over AJ Styles after that then. So he pretty much held the title over him. Setting up the match for this Sunday. Becky was apologizing to Asuka for losing the match last week, but Asuka pretty much says, forget it. Let's hold it together here. We need to focus on tonight. Charlotte came in and said that we're gonna win back. She's gonna win back the title this Sunday from Carmella and show us some respect. As Becky said, they told her not to be a hero, but we have each other's backs tonight against Carmella and the Iconics. Asuka pretty much said, the Queen, the Empress, and Straight Fire, the Avengers, assemble. I need to go watch Infinity War. As soon as I catch up on, I need to go see Doctor Strange first, then Black Panther. Yes, I know I'm late on those movies. Then I'll watch Infinity War, but it is very hard to avoid spoilers. But that's for the Nakamura and Joe segment. Samoa Joe, great on the mic. Just, come on. You believe every word he says. He comes off as cunning, calculated, serious, knowing he's gonna kick your ass, and just a very old school Heat-like promo, if you ask me. You just tell the charisma that comes from this guy when talking, and the seriousness from it. But hey, I wouldn't mind if he's going back up to the WWE title again. I don't think anyone would. And I feel like we've been to an hour of this show. We finally get a second match. I feel like there's been a lot of segments, if you ask me. A lot of segments than matches. Because I think in the second hour we get Woods versus Sheamus. Wasn't that bad of a match. I will say that was pretty good. Woods pretty much getting the win on a roll-up over Sheamus. I'm sure this feud will continue, but once again we're fighting over pancakes here and not the tag team titles, and we didn't see any of the Usos or the Bludgeon Brothers next week, so one of these two teams has to be going next for the tag team titles, I'm going to assume. But right now, it's over pancakes. Unless we get a pre-show match with these teams on Sunday. Absolution came in. Well, they showed them mocking Becky Lynch and everything, causing an Oscar match, and that Paige, which really got weird here as they all hugged each other, was Absolution. Paige pretty much says Absolution is dead, thank God. So I don't think this is going to go anywhere, and Mandy's going to go against Becky next week. So I guess Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville will have to find their own gimmick or whatever, their own way, because come on, Deville already got her shit kicked in by Rousey before coming on Smackdown anyways, and that didn't help. Paige, just this whole thing looked really awkward. Really did. The whole segment looked awkward. And as for Becky, could Becky be turning heel here, or is it just some words they're just throwing out there? Because Becky needs a change. Becky really needs something. Becky needs anything right now. Will she turn on Charlotte? Since they keep saying she's Charlotte's best friend out there. Because I don't know what happened to Naomi. Because it's usually Naomi and Becky making the save. But we have not seen Becky anywhere doing anything, to be honest. Nothing. Literally nothing. Like, I really hope they find something for her. Honestly, I'm surprised they didn't move her to Monday Night Raw during this whole shakeup thing. Because she needed a change of scenery. She really did. But I guess they didn't decide to move her. Going in next off of this, they played an Andrade Cien Almas promo, or El Idolo Los Ingo Bernales de Japón. No, like I said, not de Japón, but one in Mexico, La Sombra there. Just saying they don't. Well, Zelina Vega pretty much says we don't know, or pretty much said they're not gonna tell when they arrive for SmackDown. But when they do, they're gonna change it forever. And as the main event, the 6-women tag match. Some say that I'm already hearing now that the reason why they even have the main event because A, they did not get a match, Saudi Arabia. I heard they already paid for not even going to the event. But I said, we just have a 10 women tag on Raw, but I said, I guess I gotta get a woman tag on SmackDown too. Not a bad match, I'll give it that. Pretty much to eat up some time for the main event. It was actually really good. Charlotte, could she win the championship this Sunday? Well, pretty much Asuka getting the win over Peyton Royce with the Asuka lock, which had to tap out immediately. Yeah, Kyle's pretty good in the ring. I'll give them that. This was not a bad tag match or nothing, but this is just mostly, you know, to lead into the pay-per-view this Sunday. Could Charlotte get the title back? I don't know, but we will see what happens. I'm surprised that, I don't know, for some reason I said Iconics. I'm not saying they took a lot of losses or anything, but I feel like they have. Somebody, I was kind of reading on Twitter, somebody put out a theory or something that maybe Becky Lynch could lead Absolution, but I don't think anybody needs to see that. But yeah, that's SmackDown tonight. There was some bad, it was good. Wow, that Cass promo really killed a lot of people out there. The AJ Nakamura and Joe segment was really good. I did like that. Miz TV was pretty much whatever, leading to a tag team match, of course. But Woods versus Sheamus was actually kind of an interesting match to look at. Like I said, it was only like 3 matches. All this was just hype for Sunday. But I think Cass's promo just was not going out good in this. I'm not really down with them trying to have Lana break up English and Rusev, but hey, they don't like Rusev being over, so yeah. But I will say one thing I enjoyed tonight is this crowd. I love this crowd. They were hyped throughout the whole night. I thought they were great. They were just big for everything. I wish the crowds could be like that every week. I thought they were hot last night for Raw. They were hot once again for SmackDown. So I really did enjoy this crowd. They really kept you interested in the show, and I just love whatever thing they chanted. I may have didn't understand every word they said in French Canadian or whatever, but I enjoyed it, other than we, and as in yes, yes, yes. But it was really enjoyable to look at. So yes, Backlash is Sunday. Probably come back with a prediction video or something like that. But yeah, mostly a lot of hype for Sunday. Great crowd tonight. So wake up, wake up. It's the first of the month, and we will see you this Sunday. But I am out of here. See you guys later. Peace out. And comment and subscribe.